Hello, fight fans. I'm RicRoc. Want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode 1 of our boxing podcast, brought to you by Team Humble Hands. Today's guest is none other than contender, heavyweight, undefeated Gerald Washington. Gerald, how's it going?
It's going good. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's just hit the ground running. How did you get your name, El Gallo Negro?
Man, I didn't even know I was going to be a boxer growing up, or nothing like that. I grew up boxing, but when I decided to have my pro debut, I was trying to figure the name out. I was like, man, what are you going to do? And then, the day of my fight, we just went with it, with the whole Gallo Negro. I came out to some Vicente Fernandez and an E40 mix, and then my name just stuck from there, and I've just been El Gallo Negro ever since.
Going back to how you were brought up and where you're originally from, and when do you recall first lacing up the gloves?
I'm from Vallejo, California, San Francisco Bay Area. I started boxing at the Omega Boys and Girls Club when I was in about the second grade. It was just an after-school program that they had there, and I just fell in love with boxing. Everybody wants to be a karate kid or, doing all the karate moves and stuff. Well, I had boxing at this gym, so that was my type of martial art. So I went back there and I fell in love with boxing and just exercising, doing push-ups, running around the park, and getting in the ring and conquering your fear. It was an awesome experience for me as a kid growing up, and that's why I'm here today.
Going back to growing up and where you're from, where are your parents originally from?
My father is from Detroit, Michigan, Motown, and my mother's from Ayutla, Jalisco.
Now, I know that you speak Spanish, and even though you're half Mexican, half African American, a lot of Mexican is not only in your name, but you listen to Spanish music, you talk Spanish music. How has that helped you in boxing, knowing that Mexican fan bases do come up to support the fighters?
Oh, definitely, man. Mexican boxing fans are the best. Some of the best fans around the world. They come out in full force, to support. So I definitely appreciate all the love and support that I get from my fans. They hit me up on my social media and they make themselves known. So it's always a great, it's great, feeling their presence there when I'm in the ring.
I know certain fighters are not even Mexican and they like to sport the Mexican flag to try to get some of that coverage or some of that attention from the Mexican fan. What sets you apart, not only being in Mexico and having your mom part of you, but what sets you apart from them and how you feel about the Mexican people?
Man, it's just a whole bunch of pride and love and just energy that you can pull from that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a whole lot. It's a lot of positive energy. That I take in the ring with me. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows that you got that Mexican warrior spirit. You know what I mean? You got to take that with you in the ring. And I'm blessed to have both sides. I'm able to do my thing and represent a lot of people, all over the world. So I'm grateful for that.
Let's talk a little about how you got there. You said that you were in the kids and the youth program. Then from there, what kind of athlete were you in high school? Were you always athletic, or you strike me as being athletic, where you can play any sport and kind of adapt to it?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up, just playing. I didn't really play organized sports growing up, as far as like baseball, basketball, and stuff like that, football or anything. But I always play, on street football, street hockey. I watched Mighty Ducks. I got some rollerblades and the hockey stick and the street puck and a ball or whatever. We play that or climb trees. Like, I was always doing something. But I grew up playing tennis with my parents. And boxing as a kid, and then finally later on, I played high school tennis, and I played football my senior year of high school, and I had ROTC and stuff also in high school. So,
going back to tennis, well, how did that start, or how did you get into it, or?
I love tennis. I grew up that's my mother's sport. She plays every day. She's out there all the time on the court. She loves tennis. She comes home and watch it. I grew up with it in my family. So is my father. He feels the same way about tennis. So it's just in my blood too. You know what I mean? But a lot of those moves that you take from the tennis court, you're able to, the footwork, the shifting of the hips, the turning around, getting yourself in position, being ready at all times. All that stuff applies to any other sport that you do. So that's like a crazy background for me to have that. You know what I mean? Playing tennis and then converting that into center. And I slipped out of the way, but it's funny the positioning that I did. You know, I'm like right here, but I switched my feet like this, and I hit the guy. That's like a tennis move, like you hitting the tennis ball. You know what I mean? You're waiting for the ball comes, and then you
pivoting.
Yeah, boom. So it's a little skip step, something that I already had, you know, in me. You know what I mean, from tennis, and it was cool. I was able to transfer to boxing.
Going back to your amateur days, did you have a brief amateur career before actually turning professional?
Yeah, I didn't have that many amateur fights. I was always in the boxing gym, but I didn't compete, you know, that much. I had maybe, you know, 12 fights growing up. But I was always in the ring sparring with a bunch of different guys. You know, I went to 2 different gyms at the Boys Club, and then I went to Alamana Boxing in Napa as a kid. And they had a bunch of fighters in there that we got to mix it up with and just gain that experience.
Being your size, was it sometimes difficult to find fights in the amateur program, knowing that you show up and maybe they have somebody for you, maybe you don't?
When I started boxing, I was less than 100 pounds. You know, it was. And then after I left boxing, I never knew I was going to come back to it. I always had the love for boxing, and that was like my first love, my passion. And after going to the military and then going to play football, you know, and I was trying to go out for different teams and stuff, I got back into boxing to cross-train. You know, I started sparring. I started, you know, putting hands on people, dropping a few people. I was like, man, I could do the same way I looked at football. I was like, you know, I didn't really play football like that, but I was like, I could do that, you know, and I did. And I did the same thing with boxing, and I was able to step in there and compete. And then one thing led to another. And
Going back to your military days after high school, you mentioned you were in ROTC. So from ROTC, you went straight into the military. What branch was that? And
I went into the Navy. I had Navy ROTC. I had some great instructors. They taught me a lot about the military, and I just fell in love with the military and the pride that I had for my country. So I just wanted to do my part and sign up and travel the world.
So you were with the Navy. What would you work on? What was your position in the Navy? And
I worked on helicopters. I worked on CH-46s in the '60s, and it was just a great experience for me to be out there on the flight line, go to boot camp, you know, learn how to work with other people from all over the country, people that, you know, from all different walks of life, you know what I mean, to work together as a team and to get the job done, you know what I'm saying? You're on a mission. You got to handle your business, you know, for everything to function right. If we don't take care of these helicopters, they can't fly them, they can't do their missions and save people, you know, to do their thing. So everybody has to work together because we got one mission, one goal.
did you actually have to go overseas or be on a boat for a long period of time? I know sometimes you're out there for 6 months and it's...
Yeah, no, I actually, my first command, I went to school for about a year to learn my trade, and then I was stationed in San Diego. I had a search and rescue squadron, and then from there I went to the USS Bellawood, and and I did a year on the ship. But we were right there in San Diego. They actually went on deployment as I was getting out. They were getting ready to head out, and I didn't. My time was coming to an end so I didn't get to go.
Knowing your athleticism, I'm curious, how did you do in boot camp compared to everybody else?
Oh, I did great in boot camp. You know, boot camp is just a state of mind and attitude. You know, a lot of people, that's the first time being away from home. That's the first time, you know, being around different people like that and having to work with different people and being forced to be in a certain environment and work as a team. And a lot of people weren't used to that. You know what I mean? I played sports growing up, so I kind of had a feel for that. You know, somebody being in your face, like I knew what to expect. I had ROTC. A lot of people, they weren't used to that. They weren't used to the authority and people being in their face. A lot of people would break down and cry. You know, people, you could walk out of the boot camp if you want to. It's not like a jail. It's a base. You could walk right out the front door if you don't want to be there. You know what I mean? But people would take their blanket and throw over the barbed wire fence and hop the fence like they had to escape from boot camp, like, and be crying, like, and they'll be crying, you know, doing push-ups. Like, I could do about 100 push-ups without, you know, before I start getting tired and I can't push no more. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be down there like, whatever. But like, guys would be like, "Come on, guys!" You know, they'd be crying and begging. That like, bro, you can't do no more. You can't do no more, bro. What are you crying for? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just it.
So it sounds like you had the mental part down, but the physical part, like the physical.
Oh, that was all easy. That was a cakewalk for me. You know what I mean? But it was just about rallying your shipmates and just getting everybody to work together. That was the main part. If you could get everybody to work together, you wouldn't even have to experience the situations where you're in trouble or having to deal with the bad stuff. You know what I mean? You take care of your business, just like in life. You take care of your business, you're gonna have smooth sailing all the way through.
You've been a part of some pretty rigorous programs and rigorous training. What do you think about the SEALs programs and what they have to go through for their boot camp?
That's a whole nother level. I didn't even get to experience that at all. So, I mean, I don't know what all that entails, but I've seen movies and I've seen shows and documentaries and stuff. Man, those guys are hardcore, you know, and they definitely put it out on the line for us. And you know, I appreciate everything they do for us, man, because that's not an easy task. You know what I mean? And it's definitely an honor to be part of that unit and in that fraternity. But man.
So after you were done with the military life, you went back to school, back to college, and you decided to play football, correct? Yeah,
I went to the military, and I knew I wanted to go to college. You know, I saw people coming into the military. They're 21, 22 years old, just fresh out of college, and they were putting officer positions. They would be officers coming in as ensigns, and I was like, why does this person? You know, this person has been in for 20, you know, going on 30 years, you know, 20 to 30 years in the military, and then this person only went to college for 4 years, and all of a sudden, you know, they get to be, you know, outranking this person. You know what I mean? That was just like an eye opener for me. I was like, man, let me go ahead and get this education and put myself in position. That way, you know, I'm not starting from the bottom. You know what I mean? I can you know, just work my way to the top a little faster. You know what I mean? And it definitely helps you in life.
So from there, when you went to go to school, what made you go back on the football field knowing that you just had 1 year of experience in high school? I
know I'm an athletic person, you know what I mean? I like to play. Basically, you know, I want to go out there and just see what I can do. You know, I just went out there just to have fun. And one thing, you know, the guy was like, man, I'm coming to the field like 6'5", 240, and these guys have the hardest time trying to recruit players from high schools, you know, all around. They might have centers that are like, you know, not even 6, you know, 5'11", 6 foot, you know, and like 240 pounds. They're trying to, and here I come, 6'5", 240. You know, I'm their prototype tight end, and I'm just like, I just walk up to them like, yeah, I just got out the military. I want to play football, and it was like a dream, you know, a dream to them. You know what I mean? Somebody just coming up to them because they have to do all this hard work. So, you know, I didn't really play football like that, so I had to learn the whole process and everything. But I had good coaches and people to help me get through and understand the game a little better. And I was able to earn a scholarship to the University of Southern California, you know, while they were on their way to their third, you know, national championship. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great experience for me, and I was honored for Coach Gerald and Steve Sarkisian to come out and recruit me and invite me to play on for the Trojans.
And how was that recruiting process? I know you did achieve some awards in the junior college level, so you did stand up to them. Did they come to your house? Is it like, you know, is it like the movies of how hard they really recruit when they really want you?
Yeah, they do. If you're one of those 5-star athletes or one of those top athletes across the country, you know, they come out and they definitely put in the work. They came out to my school. It wasn't like I was like, I didn't even know who, you know, some of those top players at USC were, you know what I mean? But I was just like, I didn't even know who USC was. I just knew that they went to national championship, you know, and I wanted to play football. Like, I wasn't looking, and I saw they got to play on TV. That was one of my things. Like, I want to be able to play on TV. I want to go to Division I. So I did everything that I had to do. I got my associate's degree in, you know, in a year and a half, and I was able to be a mid-year transfer to the SC, and I was able to go there early and kind of learn a little bit, just trying to figure it out because I knew I was starting from the bottom, so I need to really get an understanding to play Division I football. You know what I'm saying, for the best team in the country. You know what I mean? That was a crazy experience. Everybody was like, "What? You going to SC?" You know, and it was just like, you know, I was just as surprised as everybody else, but it's definitely a blessing and a great opportunity.
So if Coach Carroll, you stood out to Coach Carroll, what were some of your stats, your 40, or how many times did you put up that 225?
When I went for my pro day, I was running about 4.6, and I put up 225 about 25 times. You know, I had a vertical like 36 and a half. you know, I could broad jump about 10 feet. You know, I was a good athlete. You know, and it's and just being and competing with the best guys in the country. That's what makes you good. You know what I mean? That's what. Just like boxing, like you're as good as the people that you practice with. You know what I mean? You put yourself around good people and you get good work, you're gonna get better. You know what I mean? And that's how it was. So practice was definitely more competition than any of the games that we would ever get into. You know what I mean? Because we were playing with the best guys, the fastest, strongest guys. So when we go against any other team, we'd be the dominant team. So
When you showed up to the field for the first time and you seen all these athletes that are now in the pros, and Coach Carroll, that's also, you know, having a lot of success in the NFL. What did you feel, and did you know at that moment what you were surrounded by?
You know, I was just taking it all in. You know what I mean? It was definitely a shocker to walk onto the university campus and be like, you know what I'm saying? You're here. And to walk out to the stadium, you know, and you got 93,000 people, and it's crazy. Like walking down the tunnel and everybody's like holding their arms and out there saying wartime. You know what I'm saying? You definitely feel that. You know what I mean? You definitely feel that, and you'll take that with you forever. You know what I'm saying? It's just a great experience, and if you can do it, you know what I mean? Definitely go out there and get that.
What kind of coach was Coach Carroll, and do you still have any contact with him?
Yeah, Coach Gerald was amazing, man. He's just a high energy, fun coach. You know what I mean? Everybody, all the players loved him. You know what I'm saying? This guy used to come in there and take off his shirt, you know, jump around. You know what I'm saying? It just brought a lot of energy to the team. You know, and he pushed us to compete. And you know what I mean? And to be better. You know what I mean? And why can't you be better every day? You know what I mean? He has a good book out. You know what I'm saying? And people should read it. It's just good. And you take a lot, you know what I'm saying? You can use it all through life, every day, your everyday battles, you know what I'm saying?
So some of the talent that was there was like with Ray Malaluga, Taylor Mays, Matthew Cushing. Who were you the most close to when you were actually playing there?
You know, I had a lot of friends there. I mean, you friends with the whole team. I got my buddy Mike Morgan, David Osbury, Chilo. All your people, you call more like all the people in your position group, but you cool with everybody, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you built that good stable of friends that you'll have for a lifetime.
At that level, it seems like everything is really fast, like quick, fast, and the training camps are really hard. How did that prepare you for boxing, not only physically but mentally?
Man, just going into you know, SC and the NFL camps and stuff like that, you got to be on game because everybody's coming to compete for a job. You know what I mean? They only have a certain amount of roster positions, and everybody's trying to do the same thing you are. Everybody's trying to take care of their family. Everybody's trying to take care of their mom, you know, and dad, and just provide for the kids and stuff. You know what I mean? And just set the life of themselves. So everybody's giving it all they have every day, every moment. You know what I mean? So it's a constant battle every day. So you have to study and you have to prepare. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. If you put in the work, then it'll come out. If you don't, if you think you let that talent, you could write that talent out so long. You know, but you got to put it all together and to achieve your goals.
So after you wrapped it up with SC, what was your next move after the draft or the combine?
I tried out for a couple teams. You know, I signed as a free agent to the Buffalo Bills. You know, I went to like OTAs, minicamp. I got hurt. I actually pulled my hamstring right before I did my pro day, so I didn't get to compete. So I was blessed enough to still be able to sign with an NFL team and do that. But you know, as I was recovering from my hamstring, I recovered within right when I tried to push it full go again. My hamstring was good, but my lower back just tightened up, you know what I mean, really bad, and I was like, I couldn't even walk, you know what I mean. So I did like the first day of practice, and then my back just got tight. So I got to come back for like OTAs and do my thing there, and then I just tried out for a couple teams, and then that's when I got back into boxing.
So as soon as you wrapped it up with them, you just decided that you're going to go back to your roots and
exactly.
Your passion.
I was like, man, the whole thing I like about boxing is like it's all on you. You know, you're gonna put all the work that you put in. It's all on you. You don't have anybody saying, all right, we want this guy, this guy, this guy. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about all those people. You just worry about yourself. If you can do the job, then you can get in there and do it.
You strike me as more, because I know some people say that, oh, football players don't make good boxers, but you're more of an athlete where you can play any sport and adapt to it. Is there any other sports that you could just pick up right away, and let's say basketball or baseball, and you could have been successful also?
Yeah, man, anything. You know, I grew up playing with my cousins in the park, you know, baseball, football, basketball. Like I said, even did like street hockey, you know what I mean? Like, I did everything, you know, skate. So you just put it all together, you know what I mean? And eventually you feel it, you know what I mean? When you do different things, the different movements, you're like, oh, that's just like that, you know what I mean? So everything relates and everything comes together.
You do have fast feet, and I see that your style, you kind of focus on footwork and positioning yourself. That goes back to tennis, to what you were talking about, tennis. Going back into your first fight when you decided that you wanted to go forward with boxing and you wanted to just put all your effort in, how did you feel making your debut for the first time, and what were you going through?
That was a crazy experience for me. I fought on the Robert Guerrero card, Biden, and I fought in San Jose. I got to fight in my home, you know, where I was born at, in the Bay Area, with all my family and friends there. When I first started boxing, I wanted to be like a knockout dude. I was just going to go get it. There was nothing going to stop me. I was like, I know I could do this, and I was just coming full steam ahead. You know what I mean? I had dudes running from me scared. I was like, oh. And then I had a couple first round knockouts. And then up to my third fight, you know, I fought another guy. I dropped the dude 2 times, and then I made the guy take a knee, you know, and I was like, oh, I could just, you know, overpowering everybody. I was like, I could do this, you know what I mean?
So that was some of the football player mentality of just laying people out.
Then that third fight, the dude he took the knee, and then he saved himself from getting stopped in the fight. And then the second round, I was like, you know, I was like, dang. I was so tired. And I was like, oh, man, you can't just go out there like that, you know what I mean? Because I'm just exhausted, you know what I mean? That's like really exhausted. That wasn't like a mental thing. That was like, I'm like physically tired right now. And I'm just trying to get my stuff back together. And the dude is poking me with jabs and just like,
so you were running on fumes and the gas tank was empty.
Man, but luckily I was bigger than the guy, you know what I mean? I was able just to like punch at him and maul him and just make it through. You know, I'm a gritty guy, you know what I mean? But I was from that fight on, I said I'm not gonna fight like this. I'm gonna fight smart, you know what I mean? I'm gonna stay composed. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna use my smarts. I'm not just gonna try to beat dudes down. And I'm not saying I want to go back to that, but I went all the way safe. You know what I mean? I want to get some of that little that tough. You know, just go get them attitude back. You know what I mean? And I'm learning, but I'm glad I did it this way, because I wouldn't have made it this far without being a smart fighter. You know what I mean? But now it's time to start hurting guys and bringing it to them. You know what I mean? Because I got it to take them out. You know what I mean? I just gotta believe it and go get it.
A lot of it is a learning process, and I know that you didn't have a vast amount of amateur fights, but you do spar with a lot of people that you do learn, and that's how you learn, is being in the ring. And I feel maybe you did pick up a lot of tricks or a lot of things from veteran guys. Who are some of the guys that you've sparred with and they've helped you come along?
First guy that comes to mind is Malik Scott. You know, he was he's a smooth boxer. You know what I mean? He's real. He got good defense, good punches, and he puts everything together. He's just real smooth in there and relaxed and calm. You know, then I spar with, you know, Latif Coyote. You know what I'm saying? He's a hard-nosed pressure fighter. Somebody's going to keep coming hard at you. You know what I mean? And that was like another hurdle that I had to conquer coming up. And then, you know, I went to camp with like Brian Jennings and I have, you know, good fights. But yeah, LA is just full of fighters, man. I got to work with Glasscoff and Charles Martin and Dominic Brazil and just learn, you know, all the different things, and I'm still learning, and that's why I like when everybody comes together and we get to, you know, like we did the other day, we had a round robin sparring, and you get to get the different looks, you know what I mean? Because you need all the experience you can, because when you get in there, it's just you and the other guy, you know what I'm saying? Who knows more, who's in better condition, who's smarter, who could protect themselves. Everything has to come together on that night. You know what I mean? If you want to be successful and be ready.
I know you're currently with Al Heyman with the PBC network. Talk to me about how you got signed and how they discovered you.
They were actually looking to sign Dominic Brazil. He was getting ready to go to the Olympics. You know, we were training. He was training here at the gym. You know, we would spar together, and then one day we went to go spar. They went to go check him out. We went to go spar with Malik Scott over there, and Sam Watson was there, and he saw, you know, and he got an opportunity to see me work with Malik Scott and Dominic Brazil, and then he pulled me out of the ring. He said he liked what he saw. He saw the dog come out, and he said, "You're gonna be knocking people out." And he said, "We're gonna sign." He said, "We want to sign Dominic," and he said, "We're gonna sign you too." And I said, "Let's do it." And from then on, man, it's just been a blessing. My career's been running really smooth. You know, I got 17 fights in a short amount of time. I've been on TV, you know, and everything's starting to come together now. You know, you're looking for a world title opportunity here soon, and the big fights are here. This is 2016, and we're ready to rock.
Some people that do have, you know, negative things to say, Al Heyman, how have they treated you, the company, and what could you say about being under their banner?
Man, first class, top notch. They're the best in the business. You know what I mean? That's why he is where he is right now, and they're all over just the national television and free TV. You know, he's bringing boxing back to the glory days. You know, we have a new heavyweight world champion in Deontay Wilder. You know, which is competition for me in the future, and he has all the best fighters out there. You know what I mean? So I look forward to continue to fight under that banner, under PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, and be a world champion one day. You know what I mean? And they're definitely going to give me the exposure I need to be that world star.
It looks like the heavyweight division right now is a little bit shooken up. We have Tyson Fury taking out, you know, Klitschko, and the other Klitschko's retired. They were running the division for quite a few years. Seems like everybody's kind of scrambling. This other Cuban guy, Luis Ortiz, is coming strong. Anthony Joshua. What do you think about these guys?
It's great, man. It's great for the division, great for boxing, because heavyweight boxing is what people want to see. People want to see people getting put to sleep, people getting beat up and bruised and getting knocked out cold. Like, it's then like getting punched by a heavyweight, you know what I'm saying? It's somebody that's big and strong. You got all these guys, these skilled guys, but the heavyweights bring that brute force that people love, you know, that when you hit somebody and they drop them, the ring shakes, you know what I mean? The floor shakes, boom, it's heavy, you know what I mean? So that's what people love about boxing, man, and that's what makes it exciting.
I know your last fight was a little bit controversial. You may not have gotten the result you wanted. Going back to that fight, now that you watched it, what are your thoughts on not only the learning process or not only the experience you've got from that fight, but just the way you saw it, and how do you feel now about the whole thing?
I definitely won the fight. I just feel that you need to you got to convince everybody in the thing. The guy couldn't touch me at all. It's just a matter of finishing the job and taking the guys out. You know what I mean? You have to complete your work. You can't just win. I thought it was like I was playing it like a game of tag, and I realized and I learned at that fight that it's not that. You have to go in there to take the guy out. You know what I mean? And if not, you know, you fall short and you win by decision, okay. But the job is to run the guy unconscious and to go home with the victory.
So it sounds like your mentality has changed a little bit. You could box and you could use your angles, but when it's time to settle down, you're definitely looking at taking your opponent out.
Now it's time for me to be the big bad wolf. You know, I gotta step to them and put the pressure on them and let them feel the things that I felt. You know what I mean? I'm a big strong guy too, and I don't even impose myself on these guys. I'm boxing, you know, staying out of the way, keeping clean. But you know, I got all this. I got all these tools. You know, I got to unleash on these guys.
When you go back and you review, you know, the footage, there was times that I felt that you had Mansour hurt, and if you would have capitalized it, you could have possibly, you know, taken him out. Mm-hmm. Do you know the kind of power you possess, or do sometimes people tell you, hey man, if you really settle down, you could take people out?
Yeah, definitely. But you know, I'm the type of person that like plays it safe, and I was waiting for a moment where I saw his leg buckle or a stagger or something. You know what I mean? I hit the guy, knocked him back. But in his eyes, you know, I still saw that he was cool. But he told me, I talked to him, and he mentioned to me, man, if I ever hit anybody like that, to jump on him, at least to feel it out and to test it and see where the guy is at. You know what I mean? And he said you're gonna surprise yourself and you're gonna knock a lot of guys out like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to testing it out. And you know, every shot is not gonna be that shot, but that doesn't mean it's not right around the corner. But you gotta give it a shot and test it out for you to see, you know what I mean? So you got to take those, be willing to go, man. And it's dangerous in there, but it's smart ways to go about it.
So moving forward, is there anything planned for you? Are you just staying ready, just working hard in the gym, or is there anything scheduled?
I'm looking for my next fight to be in February. You know, we're training hard. And my trainer, John Pullman, here at Pullman's Gym in Burbank, and we're just working hard, man. You know, we're surrounded by talent, and, you know, we're just putting it all together.
Last question, Gerald. Is there anything you want to say to your fans? Is there any shout-outs for your sponsors?
I love y'all, man. You know, I love the fans. I love the support. You know, the love, man. All the, you know, it makes me feel good, and it keeps me going. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my sponsors. Pronto Income Tax, AV Chevy, Everlast, Venom, Fight Me Clothing, man. Everybody who helps me out. Team Humble Hands, man. Being around these good people, you know, is very satisfying and feeling, you know, to be around these good people and to be doing positive things and moving forward. So I look forward to 2016 doing big things for everybody here. We got some young gunners coming, man. Keep your eyes open.
Gerald, I want to thank you for being on the show. Thank you for your support.
Appreciate it, man.
Anyone interested in checking us out at Team Humble Hands, I'm RicRoc from RicRoc Boxing Talk. Thank you, and see you in the ring.
Yeet.